Live. I have a spill. Hold on. It is right on my computer.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I had knocked over something. So you go ahead and do the intro while I go get.
Okay, well, good
I'm go-
morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindset Monday, episode number 647 of Two Sisters. I am Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and Naughty Boss Carol Sue is in the process of cleaning up her spillage all over her desk.
Yes, I am. I'm cleaning it up. Thank God I did have a a cloth here that I use to, clean my eyeglasses or whatever. So it's enough to absorb what is going on. But, I was about to take a sip and, the old can hit it the wrong way. So we want to make sure that I already have enough problems with my computer. I don't need any more, but I think I got it off. I think I caught it in time. It was a huge amount, or whatever. Naughty Boss is getting her shista together. No worries. Monday mindset. You have to have a positive mindset to start off your day like that, right? Well,
Absolutely. And here we'll start with our newest segment on who said that. So I'm going to say the comment or whatever it was, and then let us know who you think it is. Either if you're watching live now, you could of course send us a direct message, or as usual, you're more than welcome to go to our website and leave us a voice message or send us in a excuse me, a contact form. So today's segment of who said that, and this is the comment.
okay.
God save the queen, man.
Well, I think the dead giveaway was the man part. But you know what I think too? Obviously, the queen has passed. So there's that. He said that in Connecticut, I believe it was West Hartford, Connecticut, is what I recall listening to. And, do you think you're part of the monarchy? Or the whole thing was, and that's right on the flip end of the other comment about the railroad. So, is he declining further and faster? Oh, he probably has been. And yeah, I'm sure he's drugged up.
And I do want to say, okay, and I want to be very clear about this. Obviously, there's a lot going in the United States. That goes without saying. In some situations, you have to look for the humor, but you have to wonder on the other spectrum, is he declining further and further? And honestly, that's a concern for me. And as much as we talk about things sometimes that are uncomfortable, and honestly, this is uncomfortable for me to talk about it, but I want to hit it head on. I am not poking fun at an elderly person. Okay. I just want to be very clear about that. But when this person was occupying in 1600, in my opinion, and I am not an expert, is not fit to serve office. And I just wonder, his family, his wife, to me, this is elder abuse. And that's what I find utterly repulsive and just so egregious. So that's my take on it. And that's why, every now and then you do have to bring a little humor to make you laugh. And I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at the humor.
Well, it's to the point where, and I think a lot of people are feeling the same sentiment. It's obvious, just like other situations that are going on in our country are obvious. And when do you reach that point of no return where you say no more? Like, this is, as you pointed out, an uncomfortable situation to have someone that other leaders from other countries are paying attention to. And I can bet you they're laughing at him. in addition to laughing at him, they're not laughing with him. They are laughing at him. They're laughing at our country. They're laughing at our citizens because we're in a situation where, what do you do with that? People voted for him. You can go through the debate of whether he actually was elected it or not. That's a whole other gamut of the subject, which is very valid to think that that person who never campaigned because he could not campaign, not just because of COVID, because other people went out there and campaigned. And you elected him already full well knowing that he wasn't cognitively on point, that something was stirring. He had already had handlers. This is before he even was elected. So the argument that he received more citizens voting for him versus, say, Obama is ludicrous. And the statements and the things that are happening in our country are ludicrous. And yet the citizen is still sitting there scratching their head because the citizen can't do anything about it. They can't do anything about the election fraud. They can't be, they're not in charge of, impeaching him. They're not in charge of getting either side to do something. We are stuck with what we're stuck with. And they're blatantly just shoving it in our faces because they know we can't do anything about it. And that's why the countries are lacking, because they know our citizens can't do anything about it. Like, we're in a stuck situation. Everyone says, oh, you can do something about it. You go vote. Well, a lot of people don't trust the vote anymore because they're blatant about what they do. They're blatant about what they do. You saw it live in 2022. We saw it live of exactly what happened. Or was it 21? I don't even know now. 22, 21, whatever it was. I can't even remember. 20. Was it 20? Yeah, it was 20. It would have been 20. The
Yeah,
election.
because it was.
Well, no,
month
21.
and a half before Daddy passed. So 3 years ago, 2020.
Yeah. So the point being, Americans they don't trust, rightfully so. And while there's humor in it, I can guarantee you that other countries are not only laughing, they're laughing at him and they're laughing at our country. And that is a travesty of the whole piece. But anywho, off of that, today I'm about to take my last 3 capsules. I'm on day 10 of Free Talk. Let's see if I can get your watering.
Yeah, don't spill it on your computer.
And where is the cover? That's the important piece. Gotta find the cover. Because I'm so, with my hands, I talk with my hands. That's part of the problem. I'm on my last day of detox has been going great. Feel really good. You just feel when you start getting rid of that bloat, your skin, just not as tight as it was. Still watching, the normal things that I watch, which would include sodium. I'm very mindful of that, but I've had no sugar other than natural sugar, within fruits and whatnot. And menu wise, are you starving? I'm not. I'm actually not hungry. And part of the problem has been getting the food in. So I've been basically doing, my morning capsules, water. And I usually do a smoothie, a fruit with spinach or kale smoothie, usually around, I've been breaking fast a little bit earlier because I'm not technically getting in a meal in. Although, if you can see everything that I put in this smoothie. So I've been putting in tons of spinach, kale, strawberries, blueberries, banana. And I also put our boost in it, which is all the greens, the veggies, and the fruits. Raspberries, kind of changing it up, and it comes out delicious. It does hold me over. Although yesterday was the first time I was a little lightheaded around 3. So I ended up just eating like a banana just to kind of, get that feeling away. And then I was fine right after that. So my sugar obviously was dropping. So I was cognizant of that. And then I've been like last night I had no fish. I actually ended up making, obviously we were making a nice Father's Day dinner for John. We did tripe try steak tips. And they come in strips and I just cut them up. We did chickens, we make kebabs, but we did them differently. Because I think the biggest complaint about when you're cooking kebabs is you're afraid because it's next to the veggie or whatever, it's not getting cooked. So what I did was I did all skewers of chicken, all skewers of the steak tips, all skewers of mushrooms, and then in tomatoes and mushrooms, tomatoes, and zucchini. And then on the stove, I sauteed all the onions and the peppers. So it was a kind of combination. Then we took everything off the grill, the veggies off the grill, threw them in the pan with the peppers and the onions, and then sauteed them a little bit longer. It came out so good. And I made a nice jasmine rice. But for me, I ended up having a bowl of the rice, all the veggies, and then I added cannellini beans and the black beans to it. So that was my dinner. Very filling, very yummy. So the question has been, are you hungry? And no, I'm not hungry at all. And to even get the meal in about 6:30 sometimes is a struggle. Yesterday it wasn't as much of a struggle, but every day it's been a struggle to even get a meal in. I don't know why I'm not hungry, because there's not an appetite suppressant or anything like that in this. It's just because of what I'm eating. The fiber holds me a lot longer, like the smoothie, that's going to hold me a little bit longer. So I think that's part of it. But even getting that in sometimes is a struggle. So, but I'm making sure that I'm definitely getting my calories, some calories in, but eating very, very structured and clean. So today is the last day. So everyone goes, what's the first thing you're going to eat? And I said, it really depends on my appetite. I'll go back to my very structured, flexible, but structured intermittent fasting. So I won't break fast till later in the day. So I think that's going to help with the hunger, not eating or not hungry part, because my body's so used to not breaking fast and I break the fast with our 3 steps: capsules, lifestyle mix, and DFT, dermal fusion technology. And I don't do that till 3 p.m. So I think that is partly one of the reasons why I was never hungry at say 1 o'clock, because I just don't normally eat at that time. So I think that was a piece to it, but it's been going good. I'm glad I'm on, and everyone's, what are the things that you miss? You cannot even do a really full body workout. So I'm anxious to get back into, really working some areas, my legs and my arms for number one, because I have lost, I'm very close to my goal weight, but now I gotta push the fitness piece to it on the exercise to tone up. So I'm looking forward to like a really good hard workout. And of course, I'm looking forward to getting my 3 steps in. But it's been going good.
That's awesome. I want to point out two words that you said, which I think are really vital for any type of wellness program or a structure, a structure that you're trying to change up your program a little bit. And what you said was structured and flexible.
It's true, because with intermittent fasting, for those that don't know, you do have that flexibility of changing up your eating window. So obviously, because a lot of people say, well, you're active, you go out, you're always busy, you're at, watching, going to live music shows, whatever you do, and, kayaking, all these pickleball, all these things that you do. How do you fit your schedule in there? Because I do have that, it's still structured, but it's flexible. I can shift, kind of like editing a video. If you only have 30 seconds on some of your apps, you have the ability to slide where that 30 seconds is going to be. Well, that's the same thing as my eating window. I can slide it either way. So if I know I'm going out for an early dinner, I'm going to try to maybe break fast a little bit sooner. Or if I know that I'm eating later, I'm going to slide my eating window further out. So I'm not going to break fast as early because I know I'm eating a later meal. So I'm still remaining within my window. I just have the ability to slide where it goes. So I do have that flexibility. It's still structured, but I have that flexibility. And that's one of the things, I've learned through, everything that we discuss, all our health and wellness, is that, you have to have flexibility in your lifestyle. It does not mean you cannot maintain. Like someone will say, oh, when you go on vacation, you still do your 3 steps. Yes. We're fortunate that our company makes everything in single serving. So it travels with me. So there's no excuse for me not to still be structured and dedicated to be a product of the product. But I also show that I get the flexibility because I got the product that's going to travel with me. I've got a window eating that I can slide depending on what my schedule is. So there's no excuse. I can never look at myself in the mirror and say, make an excuse of not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Would it be fair to say that you've shifted your perspective?
Yeah, because I think for a lot of people, they get stuck on the diet, the word diet, the grocery list, I could only eat so many in the measuring and all that. I don't measure anything. What I've learned is just not to eat on a timetable that society says I have to. I only eat when I'm hungry now. And I think that's part of the missing link for a lot of people. They think, oh, morning, noon, and night, 5 o'clock dinner, noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock lunch, 6:30, 8, breakfast time. I don't do that anymore because my body is so adapted to what I do that I'm more in tune to listen to my body. And remember, we always talk about hearing and listening, it's two different things.
Mhm.
The same thing applies to listening to what your body's telling you. If my body's telling me I'm not hungry, I'm not hungry. The other key piece to quote hunger, or the person that's going to open up the refrigerator door and look around and, what can I eat? Because they're not really hungry. They're either bored, but a lot of times it's because they need to be hydrated. They don't have enough water in them. So a lot of times when you kind of feel like, could I eat something? Could I eat a snack? Go for a glass of water. You do it lemon, lime, you can, infuse it with fruits or whatever, but if you're not a straight water drinker, and you will find that when you have that and you let your tummy, let it reach the tummy and kind of absorb a second, you're not hungry. So now I'm so in tune with my body that I can actually invite people over and sit down with them, and I can serve a meal and I can sit there and not eat. And everyone goes, if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. Even if I'm entertaining, I'm not going to eat. I only eat when I'm hungry. And that, and it definitely, I won't eat at an oddball time either, meaning, no, I'm not going to wait till 10 o'clock. I'm not going to eat at 10 o'clock at night. I will eat sometime within that window, but I try to make sure that I'm capturing that moment that I am truly hungry. Because when you do it that way as well, you actually enjoy the food that you eat and you appreciate what you're eating. You're really in tune with the flavors of what you're eating because you're hungry.
That is so true. And, as we've often chatted about, walking by the refrigerator, you open it up just out of habit and you look at there and you see the same old thing. And it's because we are bored, but we're also looking to fill that void. So what are we going to fill that void with? And I was just doing that, I don't know, 2 days ago. And I'm like, oh, water time, so, luckily I'm at that place where, and let me tell you, it's taken me many years to get to that place where I can recognize, I'm just trying to fill a void. I'm going to go have a glass of water.
And I agree exactly with what you did. It took you years. It took me years as well. A lot of people think that, we just came to this conclusion because we're that focused in that inspiring, to find these reasons of the whys and the whats. No, it comes with habit changing. I would definitely be one that would graze, before a meal, after a meal, during the day, weird times. And I think for me, even going back as far as right when I started thriving, I had the mindset that, okay, I'm doing this nutritional program. I don't have to do anything else. It's going to do the work for me. And it really took me that moment that I took that break, which was, I think, around the 4.5, 5-year mark, I'm going to guess. No, I've been thriving for over 6 years. So it would have been more like the 4-year mark where I stopped thriving. I had some health concerns that I had to like readjust my whole body and like detox everything that I was doing. And it was at that moment that I realized if I'm gonna do a regimen, a nutritional program, I have to partner the lifestyle. So we always commonly hear, especially, as an entrepreneur, you'll hear, be a product of the product. Show people that you're using it. It's not enough to show people that you're using it. You got to live the lifestyle. And then that was the missing mental piece for me, was I wasn't connecting the dots. I thought, well, I could do this Thrive 1, 2, 3, and still eat, cheese and crackers, 2 times a day, 3 times a day. That was my go-to, cheese and crackers. Like I can't even, and I'll probably now have cheese and crackers maybe once or twice a year, because I don't do dairy as much as I can. I'm about 90% dairy free. I call it 90% dairy free because we do go out to eat, and obviously they're using dairy when they're cooking. So I didn't just know that. I didn't just learn that. I had to change my mindset to really understand that I had to partner with the 3 steps. It wasn't just enough to do it. So I couldn't say, oh, I'm going to do that, and then we have those capsule treats. So if you say have a meal that's got heavy fat or calories, you take it right after you eat, and it helps block some of the fat and the sugar. It wasn't enough to do that. I was depending too much on the product to just change my physical being and my mindset, and that was the wrong approach. And it was when I went off of Thrive for a good 4 months that's the connection I finally learned. And then I started training my mindset better to understand these are habits that I brought to the table. And now I've got to take those habits away and develop better habits. And once I did that, and a lot of people still think, oh, you're so structured, because we use that word, and all you're doing is eating vegetables. Vegetables are very good, number one. And it does not mean I don't have an occasional treat here and there. I still enjoy food to the fullest extent. I enjoy it. I'm just more mindful of what my body's asking me to eat, listening to my body, and knowing that, okay, if there's a day that I'm going to do that, I'm going to make sure that, maybe the day before I juice or the day after I juice, because I need to balance that. Sugar and salt are your two worst enemies of all food groups. Then you can add the fat in there, but salt and sugar are the number 1 culprits in all food categories. So when you understand that and say, I can still enjoy food, flavorful food, by adding good things to it to enhance the flavor of it, you just then you start partnering. You're not working against the Thrive experience, you're working with it, you're partnering with it. So that's what I absolutely love. And a lot of people that are in nutritional programs, they don't make that connection. Like, how many people do you know, may do Jenny Craig or, any of these meal prep things, and they're relying solely on someone making them that food, but they're not connecting the dots that you're not going to stay on that program forever. Now, Thrive by LaBelle, totally different program, because it's nutrients, it's obviously vitamins, antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, probiotics, like a whole, everything. So that is something that I will do for the rest of my life. But you're not going to stay on some of these other meal program preps for the rest of your life. So if you're so depending on that, and you're not partnering that with learning how to change up the way that you cook, go for fresh, go for what's in season, and also add in that mindset and the fitness piece to it, whether it's walking, swimming, going to the gym, whatever, maybe pickleball. That's when you truly incorporate the fitness lifestyle. So fitness is not just about just trimming down. It's about changing your mindset. It's about understanding in order to be my healthiest for when that time comes, and we all will get there at some point, that we're going to age to a point where, we're going to really rely on past years, the strength that we gave our bodies through a healthy lifestyle. It's a game changer that, people don't, I heard a comment, I can't remember who it was from, and it said that our bodies are really meant, and they're built to live to 120 years old. Now, I'm not saying that is my goal, but our bodies are actually meant to do that. if we take care of them, if we partner with them, and if we listen to them, and then, have that true accountability list. Like, what am I doing? Am I adding way too much salt? And, stuff has already salted it. Now you're adding more salt to it. Am I using a healthier version of salt, like a Himalaya salt? Again, you don't have to use a lot, but if you like salt, use that. Are there natural seasonings? Am I implementing way too much sugar? Am I not reading the labels to really know what I'm putting in my body? So is it work? I wouldn't say it's no more work than writing out a grocery list. Once you get into that habit, once you start to develop that habit, it's second nature for me to double check what I'm putting in my body now.
And some great points there. And for me, it's almost like an extension cord. Like, what do I need to plug into? And there was a lot of unplugging and redoing and shifting, and it does take work, but why not partner yourself with a company? Or, you have a lot of friends, obviously, Carol Sue and I love Thrive by Lavelle. We are, been with that company for several years. Why not partner with a company that has that values and, look into perhaps plugging into something that works for you? Just because maybe a famous star or sports figure is out there selling a product, don't buy into something that you don't know about. Obviously, do your due diligence with anything that interests you. So you may have to do that several times, plug in and out, grab your extension cord. Okay, what do I need to perhaps shift around with my morning routine that I know it's not working for me? I've been there quite a few times, of course, as I'm sure other people have. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience, and you have to be gentle and kind with yourself during the process, for sure.
Absolutely. And, that's what I love. What I do is not only am I a product of the product, but we love chatting with people. What are your goals? What are you looking for? And there's some people that need to put on weight. Some people need to lose weight. Some people need to get more fit. Some people are looking for better sleep, better energy. These are all things that are incorporated with what we do. And that's the best part, is we get to share, what's working for us, but it's also adaptable to help somebody else with what is going to be doable for them. And that's what I absolutely love about partnering with customers and whatnot, and really helping them see the value of developing better habits. And, it's partly society. It's, things that we watch on TV or the alerts that we get, try this, try that. And I heard, and actually it was an ad that came by on Facebook last week, and I commented on it, and it said, lose 10 to 15 pounds in 10 days. And I thought to myself, that's not healthy. A lot of these quick fixes, while you may have some minor successes, they're temporary. I can promise you they're temporary successes. They're not long-term. And if you really truly want to change your mindset, you want to change, your health and wellness, you have to understand you didn't get to where you are overnight. You developed bad habits. That didn't come overnight. That was long-term coming. Just the same as reversing that is going to take time. And anyone tells you that, I can promise you in 30 days you're going to lose X amount of weight, it's not being truthful for you. Are there some stories where you hear that? Yeah, but pretty much so that they're probably working out every day, and they are really having a very, very structured type of diet. But is that sustainable? See, what I do is sustainable. I can still have, times in my life where I could say, I'm going after this next goal, but it means that I'm just going to get maybe a little stricter what I'm doing. My structure is never going to go away, because that's the habit I formed. That didn't come overnight. I had to learn to do that. So that's what I share with people. That's what we share with other people, is that you really have to allow your body time to adjust. because it just didn't get there like that overnight. So you can't expect it to go back the way you want it overnight either. That's unrealistic. And that's an unrealistic goal. And sadly, if you have that as your mindset, you're going to be, you might, like I said, you might have a little bit of a success, but you're going to get very discouraged very quickly because it's not sustainable. Anyone eating, that's why I'm not a big fan of like a keto diet. I'm not a fan of, a no carb diet. I'm not fans of those because they're not sustainable. I think we should be able to eat all food groups, obviously in moderation, but also, our bodies are meant to eat all these different food groups. Some of the food groups we don't, or we shouldn't eat as often. They're good for us, but too much is not good. So, I mean, this is how I think now. And I think that's been, once I, like I said, partnered with my nutritional program, or our nutritional program, it was just a game changer for me.
Sustainability, that's, really what it's all about. And, what does that mean for you? And what does it mean for the person who may be listening to this? Like, oh, well, I can't do that. Well, why not? And when you find yourself, and I've done this myself, guilty, I can't do something. How can I do this differently? Or what do I need to change to do that something that I want to do, or that's something that I want to work toward? It can happen with a lot of work, a lot of strategic shifting. And who knows where that may bring you.
And I like that because you're giving some great thoughts about being part of the solution, not part of the problem. I mean, complaining, I'm never going to get there, it's going to take too long, I need the results now. Those are not sustainable. But when you actually, are accountable and you come up with strategic points on how to get to that end game, part of the journey before you get to the end game, or part of the pivots and the divots and refiguring out and changing your habit style, that's part of the journey. And when you have those pieces, that's what makes you more successful, because you're developing better habits that now are going to become second nature to you. And I think that's the big piece, that habits, you automatically have good habits. No, a lot of us have to work at that. Most people have to work at changing the habit, and that only comes when you change the mindset. So there's a whole gamut of things to be successful in your health and wellness journey that really have to come together. And that just doesn't happen overnight. Heck, I was a Thriver for 3 years and absolutely loved the product. And it took me that long to understand it wasn't enough to do the product. I wasn't living the lifestyle. I'm still eating junk. So I'm, while Thrive is doing good things for my body, I'm making it work harder because I'm not partnering with it. I'm part of like the struggle. So once I decided to not be, on the other end of the pulling of the strings, and let go and say, okay, what do I need to change to make the Thrive experience that more positive in my life and that more impactful in my health and wellness? I got to change it how I'm eating. Then I started really focusing on, I was never a person that really ate breakfast in the morning. And that doesn't mean I don't eat breakfast every now and then. Of course I do. Somebody wants to go out for breakfast, I'll go out with them. And I'll adjust my window of eating. But I was never, my body just doesn't require that. Once I understood that I really should only be eating when I'm hungry, that was like the turning point. Because a lot of people eat when they're bored. They eat because they're told it's dinner time. And we do that, you learn that as a child. It's 5 o'clock, kids, ring the bell, let's go, we got to eat. Now, obviously with children, you have to have that structured piece to it. But as you get older, you realize you lived in your household, say, for 18 years, and that's what you were always told. Breakfast is at this time, lunch is at this time, dinner is at that time. It's not till you really are aware of your own being, your own body, that you can make those decisions and say, no, I'm not going to eat at 5 o'clock because I'm not hungry. Or a lot of times what will happen, this is a real funny one, because I break fast later in the day, a lot of times I'll incorporate my lunch/dinner together, like at 4 o'clock. And so now I'm making dinner at 6, and John will say, you're not eating? No, I already ate at 4. because that's when I was hungry. I'll still prepare the meal. I'll still sit down. I'll have a glass of water. Maybe I'll have something very, very light. But I've learned that it's okay to make sure that I'm nourishing my body when I'm hungry. And that made a huge difference. So flexibility, structure, and mindset, those are key pieces, and understanding that doesn't happen overnight.
That is so true. And on that note, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Please go to our website, www.sistas.online. Send us in a contact message, or as always, you can leave us a voice message right on our website. And this has been an amazing conversation on this Mindset Monday. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 6.0, and I am with two
Sisters, and this is Carol, so AKA Nani Boss. Just checking my computer, everything's up and running. That's a good sign. Was a little worried there with the water, but we got it all cleaned out, all dried out. You know, today is Monday Mindset. You know, we gave you a lot to quote chew on, but the point being is be kind to yourself, write what you want, write your goals down. Then make a plan. Okay, how am I going to do that? Who do I need to reach out to? I had to reach out to several people to really to grasp, like, okay, now I got this knowledge. Now I know where I want to go. How do I plan it out? How do I do that? What food groups am I going to focus on or not? That stuff just doesn't happen overnight. You need to partner with other people, along with partnering with the nutritional company that you're using, or this diet you're using, whatever it may be. Keep that in mind. It has a lot to do with that mindset. Do you have a strong mindset set and the will to be to persevere over like your own thought process, your old habits, to say, I am going to change that today. It takes a strong mindset. You've got this. We got you. With that, we will see you tomorrow for Triumph Tuesday. Today, you may have to do some triumphing. We'll have to hear about it tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.